So lately, there's been multiple people complaining of pain right here. So what I would consider to be front of the bicep. Huge disclaimer, I know I'm not a medical professional. I want you guys to always go see a physical therapist, a chiropractor, or an orthopedic surgeon if you have very specific questions or you're afraid there might be a serious injury. That being said, I'm very stubborn. Over the 6 years that we've been open, I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of those professionals and start to understand what typically causes these pains. So that just specifically I want to talk about the front of the bicep head because I've had so many people complaining about that lately. What I've come to find is it's typically something is tight which causes a poor movement pattern over and over and over. So we have to fix the tightness and then the movement pattern, all right? So specifically what's most likely happening, because people complain either A, it hurts when I just sit here. Well, my first question is, if you push the shoulder back and then down and sit there, does it hurt? And if the pain goes away, then it's mainly because the shoulder is stuck in this rounded forward position. The second problem I hear is, when I do this, it hurts. And my question is, or my statement is, stop doing that. If you are pushing like this, you're pushing into the attachment point of the bicep head. That is, the body's clamping down as a way to protect it so it doesn't shear it off. So, we need to learn to pull it back and down as we press. First things first though, we need to find the tension. So, you will see me a lot of times walk around pushing on myself. Yes, it's weird, but then it's the best way for me to find out on my body what's tight. So I'll start along the chest, pushing along the band of the chest to see if there's anything tight. If there is, I'll take a lacrosse ball, pull the arm behind the body to get it to where it's somewhat tense, and then I'll start pushing and adding range of motion. The next thing we'll look at is the back of the shoulder blade, but more so towards the top. The best way to activate that is pulling the arm across the body, pulling it back, and then laying on the ball until you make some sort of a difference. And then the last would be somewhere in the rotator cuff. Really what's happening is the shoulder blade is stuck up. And when it's stuck up, it's pushing everything forward. So we need it to sit back down. So in the back of the shoulder blade, we'll work on at a 90-degree angle, putting the ball right back in here. You'll feel a large amount of tension, and we'll show you these exercises in a second. And then once the tension is there, after a little bit, it'll start to relax, and then you know that you've made a difference. Okay? Now, that's the tension. Now we need to talk about proper movement patterns. When we're pressing, if we're constantly pressing here, or snatching here, or rotating here in any of our movements, we are going to lead to inflammation, which is going to lead to inflammation in the front of the bicep head, which is where you guys are complaining about the pain. So, what are we looking for? In a press, we are trying to press here. In a snatch, we are here and here. In a pull-up, we never rotate out as we swing through. You hold it here and you allow your chest to go through as far as your shoulders will let you while the armpits are forward. That's it. If you can't go any further than that, then it's typically your T-spine or the middle of your back, middle upper portion of your back, that's tight. If that's tight, you can't get into a good Superman position. So you need to work on your Supermans more than anything else. Okay? So that hopefully explains a lot of the issues that you're having. In order to make it better for right now, one thing you can do is on your presses, bring your hands in a little bit closer. The second thing would be possibly avoiding snatch and pull-ups for a week just to let the inflammation die down. On the warm-up, if you notice that when you pull the elbows up in the snatch and then flip and push and it doesn't hurt, then you're probably okay. Not going to say a guarantee, but you're probably okay. But if you're snatching and you can't get into that position, then you definitely want to stay away from it for a little bit. Same thing on the pull-ups. If you're going to swing through and you hang on the bar, and as soon as you hang, it starts pulling you into this position, let's stay away from it a little bit. Let's work on ring rows, or a coach can give you some other modification. Okay? We don't want any shoulder injuries. So I will show you a couple of the exercises that you can do on your own with a lacrosse ball to hopefully make the inflammation or the tension go down. First one I want to show you is the lacrosse ball in the back of the rotator cuff. And I want to show you, if you pull the elbow back and you rotate up and all of a sudden it's stuck, that's a pretty good warning sign. So we're going to take the ball, I'm going to lay on the ground, put the arm at a 90-degree angle, and
I want to stick it basically right on the other side of where the chest is. You're going to have to move around a little bit. Once you've done this for a little while, you'll kind of know exactly where it's at. But from here, I ideally should be able to touch my knuckles to the ground. Those of you that have pretty bad rotator cuffs right now, it's going to look like this. And when you go to rotate back, your body's going to fight it. You're going to say, there's no way. Just let it slowly do its work. And then it should slowly go to where the knuckles can touch the ground. Like I've got a little bit of issues right now in my rotator cuff. And so I know exactly what that feeling is like for you guys. Okay? So that's one. The next one would be more towards the rhomboids area. So the rhomboid, we'll talk about the top part of the scapula inside towards the spine. So the mistake I see with people when they do mobility is we're sitting here going like this. What are you doing, right? So the goal should be to get that ball inside and let it do what it needs to do. Just lay here, push your chest into the ground, push your core into the ground, and let it slowly work its magic. You can even pull the arm across a little bit, leave the arm a little bit down to the side, and let it slowly dig in through there. And we're going to move just an inch at a time, and then we'll go back to the top. Once we've done that a couple times, then we might add a little range of motion. But you always want to mobilize in the way that you want the body to move. I don't ever want the body to move like this. I'm probably not going to mobilize like that. I want the body to go here and back, here and back. And you notice I'm not taking it to the ground. If I take it to the ground, I'm going to mobilize in a bad position, which actually hurts. Okay? So I'm going to go as far as the body will let me in an externally rotated position and then back. And that's it.